Modena is an old small city. Some scholars believe the Etruscans founded it around 600 BC. It narrows the typical image of medieval Emilia with the elegance and the culture of the ancient capital of the House of Este. Modena Cathedral is a masterpiece of Romanesque art dating back to 1099, whose splendid architecture was conceived by Lanfranco. The bas-relief sculptures were created by Viligelmo, succeeded by the Maestri Campionesi, who passed down the task of completing the cathedral from father to son. The Ghirlandina Tower soars up gracefully next to the apse. Its unusual name comes from the marble balustrades, as beautiful and as graceful as garlands, which crown its steeple. Piazza Grande, which is totally dominated by the southern side of the cathedral, is the very heart of Modena, and is the center of civic and religious power. This city has a strong civic, cultural and artistic tradition, as well as being famous for Ferrari and Luciano Pavarotti. The Palazzo Comunale is a vast complex of buildings and houses the present town. Many rooms can be admired inside the building, including the Sala dei Confermati, where the famous Secchia Rapita, the stolen pail, is now on display, after being closely guarded in the Ghirlandina Tower for centuries. The Palazzo Ducale completes our virtual tour. This was the residence of Francesco I and his court, and was built in 1635, but has been the home of the Accademia Militare, the military academy, since 1947. The academy is the only institute in Italy which trains officers for permanent service in the army. The third turret in the Palazzo Ducale, close to San Domenico Church, is also known as the Camera verso il Prato, room near the lawn. In 1747, this was the place where the House of Este transported its balsamic vinegar for safekeeping from the secret cellar. The balsamico was guarded jealously, and only the family used it on special occasions or presented it to the VIPs of the day. Vinegar is known to have been used since very ancient times. Some populations use it for seasoning, others as a medicine and disinfectant. Roman soldiers used it to keep their bodies clean. Ancient populations especially used it for its therapeutic properties. Modena is at the center of a very fertile area where agriculture and industry have reached a happy alliance and grounds for development. The product, called traditional balsamic vinegar from Modena, has to be made from grape must obtained from vines that are wholly or partially made up of the following grapes, traditionally grown in the province of Modena: Lambrusco, Ancilotta, Trebbiano, Sauvignon, Sgavetta, Bersamino, Occhio di Gatta. A four-step procedure is needed to ensure a good product will be achieved. The grapes are first harvested and then pressed. The must is cooked and then aged. The grapes that are to be used for the production of traditional balsamic vinegar from Modena must guarantee that the fresh must is at least 15 degrees on the saccharimeter. Furthermore, the maximum production of grapes per hectare of vine of specialist cultivation cannot be in excess of 6,000 kilograms, with a maximum yield of fresh must of no more than 70%. The must for the production of the product classified with the protected origin is cooked in open containers over direct heat at atmospheric pressure for at least 30 minutes at a temperature of no less than 80 degrees centigrade. The cooked must is subject to sugar and acetic fermentation in special places used traditionally for production. The construction of the barrels. The first thing to determine when constructing a barrel is its capacity and the type of wood to be used, which must be seasoned naturally. The stages in the construction of a barrel start with bending and planing the staves. After the staves have been boiled in water for several hours in a specially made boiler, they're bent and kept under pressure for several days so that they take on the correct inclination. After this, the staves are assembled using provisional hoops in iron. The iron hoop that holds the staves must be in proportion with the thickness of the staves themselves and with the size of the barrels. At this stage, the interior is sanded down, and the tops are levelled and sanded down. Straight staves are rounded off and fitted together so that they fit perfectly. Then the coprugini must be made. Notches are dug out on the inside of the barrel towards both ends of the staves to form a circular channel where the top and bottom of the barrel will be fitted. Next, the top and bottom have to be prepared and assembled. According to tradition, there are 10 sizes of barrel used for balsamic vinegar. The smallest size is 10 litres, and then there are barrels containing 13, 16, 20, 24, 30, 40, 50, 60 and more litres.